Welcome back to the System Read. I'm Marcus, and today we are debugging the ultimate human operating system. We're talking about the 5 a.m. Club. Not just a book, but a survival strategy for the modern age. I see the world as an engineering problem, Sarah, and most people are failing at the most basic optimization: how to allocate their finite life energy before they die.
Oh, here we go. The operating system talk. Hello, everyone. I'm Sarah, the one who actually enjoys sleep. Marcus, you're obsessed with the 5 a.m. club because it feeds this productivity obsession that's basically a religion at this point. You're talking about optimization, but I see a burnout culture that treats humans like machines instead of people.
It's not about being a machine, Sarah. It's about being an efficient energy processing unit. Look at rule number 1. Maximize your positive life experiences. If you're sleeping through the most peaceful, undistracted hours of the day, you are literally squandering your life. You're letting the autopilot of modern distraction loops choose your destination, which is usually a state of being thirsty at the end of a long life of pumping water for someone else.
Squandering life because I'm not awake while the sun is still sleeping? That's the mythology of 5 a.m. It's a status symbol for the hustle influencers. It's CEO morning routines, meant to make us feel inadequate if we aren't meditating, journaling, and crushing a workout before 6 a.m. It's productivity religion, Marcus, and it ignores the fact that sleep science says some of us are literally wired differently.
Science? The science of the memory dividend says you should invest early. Waking up early is about taking control of your personal interest rate. When you're young and healthy, your capacity to extract enjoyment from the day is at its peak. If you waste those hours on dopamine addiction, scrolling through notifications, you're basically the grasshopper from the fable, playing while the winter of your life is approaching.
Actually, let's talk about that fable. In your favorite version, the ant is sitting pretty. But does the ant ever actually get to play? Your 5 a.m. obsession is the ultimate ant behavior. You're so preoccupied with survival and thriving in some distant future that you forget to live in the present. It's the senselessness of indefinitely delayed gratification. You're putting plastic over the furniture of your life, waiting for a special occasion that might never come, because your health is inevitably declining.
I'm not saying delay the play, Sarah. I'm saying the 5 a.m. Club is the play. It's the 20-20-20 formula. Move, reflect, grow. Move because movement is life. Reflect because you need to be purposeful and deliberate about which experiences you're actually going to invest in. Grow because you need to increase your human capital. If you don't have a system, you're just Sue Spendy, sacrificing future experiences because you don't even know what you want.
The 20-20-20 formula is just identity theater. It's for people who want to feel like they have control. Move, reflect, grow. It sounds like a corporate retreat for one. You argue it creates discipline, but I argue it's just another way to turn humans into machines for capitalism. You're optimizing yourself to be a better worker, a better EPU. But for what? So you can die with a huge net worth of unused time?
No, so you can die with zero waste. If you don't have the discipline to protect your time, you're working for free. Most people spend 50 hours a week at a job they hate just to buy stuff they don't need. That's a waste of life energy. The 5 a.m. Club is about reclaiming those 2 hours a day. That's 730 hours a year. At a net income of, say, $20 an hour, that's $14,600 of life energy you've rescued from the distraction loops of social media.
That math is seductive, Marcus, but it's elitist. Can a shift worker do the 5 a.m. club? Can a single parent who was up all night with a sick kid move, reflect, and grow at dawn? This self-help mythology is designed for people with enough money, health, and free time to make real choices. It ignores the indigent who are just trying to survive. For them, your system isn't a software upgrade. It's a burden they can't afford to carry.
I'll concede that Bill Perkins says this book, and by extension my philosophy, is more for those who have the luxury of choice. But even a 1% improvement in health and discipline today avoids the negative compounding of neglect later. If you're a Joe nose to the grindstone, you need this more than anyone because you're the one most at risk of slaving away for a future random person who happens to be your heir.
You talk about random people as if caring for your kids is a mistake. You say give to them when it has the most impact, which I agree with. But the 5 a.m. club mentality says, I must be elite so I can provide. It creates this hustle as identity, where the parent is always away chasing deals to build a fortune, and the child ends up as a poor little rich boy with a miserable childhood. Your system of performance psychology often leads to emotional neglect.
But that's the point of the system, to prevent that. If you wake up at 5 a.m., you get your work on yourself done before the kids even wake up. Then you can be present. You can avoid the cats in the cradle scenario where you miss the whole childhood because of planes to catch and bills to pay. Focus is the new superpower. In a world of mental fragmentation, the 5 a.m. hour is the only place left for deep work.
Deep work, or just deep loneliness. Silence feels unbearable to your generation of optimizers, so you fill it with routines. You're terrified of the blank brain. You think if you aren't processing energy toward a goal, you're failing. But maybe the most optimal thing to do is sleep in and have a slow breakfast with someone you love. That's a memory dividend too, isn't it?
It is. But you have to be deliberate about it. My problem is that most people aren't deliberate. They're on autopilot. They have a latte factor for their time, spending small increments of their life energy on things that don't actually bring them joy. I'm arguing for awareness. I'm arguing for using the final countdown app for your life, seeing the weeks you have left, and realizing that your go-go years are disappearing.
And I'm arguing that the final countdown is exactly what's causing the anxiety. This hyper-optimization makes every moment feel like it's being graded. Am I spending my life energy correctly? Is this experience yielding enough points? You're turning life into a game of Space Invaders where you're trying to rack up points instead of just living. You've traded the fear of running out of money for the fear of wasting time, and both are just different rooms in the same prison of fear.
It's not a prison, Sarah. It's a roller coaster. And I want the most exciting, exhilarating, and satisfying ride possible. You say we turn humans into machines, but machines don't have memories. We do. We retire on our memories. Every 5 a.m. session where I push my body or expand my mind is a deposit into a memory bank that pays a memory dividend until the day I hit zero.
But at what cost to your current health? Sleep deprivation is disguised as ambition in the 5 a.m. club. You're sacrificing your biological age for a net worth of self-mastery. You might be optimal on paper, but you're huffing and puffing through your 40s because you didn't value rest. The ant needs to learn that sometimes the most productive thing you can do is nothing.
Nothing is how you end up with plastic over the couches. You wait for the perfect time to start your business, to take that trip, to wake up early, and then, boom, you're 80, you're in the no-go years, and your money is useless because you can't even eat anything but tapioca pudding. You've worked your whole life for a byproduct of cash that you can't spend.
You're right about the tapioca, Marcus. That's a brutal image. But the solution isn't necessarily a 5 a.m. wake-up call. The solution is questioning the systemic problems that make us feel like we have to hustle just to be worthy of existing. We blame individuals for not being disciplined enough, but we don't ask why the survival threshold keeps rising.
Because the survival threshold is a function of our own choices. We trade our abundant time for scarce money when we're young, but we don't know when to flip the switch. The 5 a.m. Club is just one tool to help you find your net worth peak earlier. It's about being bold, not foolish, while you still have the health to recover from a mistake.
Bold, like Mark Cuban selling trash bags? Marcus, most of us aren't sharks. We're just people trying not to burn out in a culture that demands we be radioactive and contagious with our productivity. I worry that your operating system is just a way to blame the individual for the fact that the roller coaster is broken for most people.
If the roller coaster is broken, all the more reason to bring your own software upgrades. You can't wait for the government to pay for it or for luck to save you. You have to quantify every single fear and realize that inaction is the biggest risk of all. If you don't choose your own adventure, someone else will choose a very boring one for you.
Maybe. But is skepticism wisdom, Marcus? Or is it just isolation? You're so busy optimizing that I wonder if you're actually connecting with anyone. You're trading money for time, outsourcing your laundry, but are you also outsourcing your humanity to a set of routines?
I outsource the laundry so I can have more time with the people I love. I wake up at 5 a.m. so I have the life energy to be the person I want to be. It's not about isolation. It's about investing in the people you'd like to have experiences with. It's about making sure the memory dividend is shared.
You know, for a systems expert, you're surprisingly sentimental. Memory dividends. It sounds like something a bank would say if they actually cared about us. But I guess I'd rather be a grasshopper who remembers the song than an ant who only remembers the grain.
And I'd rather be the ant who learned how to build a water slide in the senior pool. We only get one ride, Sarah. Let's not spend it watching Jeopardy if we can still climb the Spanish steps.
Fine. I won't wake up at 5 a.m. tomorrow. But I might actually look at that time buckets chart, just to see if there's any room left for nothing.
That's a start. Just don't wait too long to decide, because the final countdown is ticking, and the Mushroom Kingdom doesn't have an undo button.
And on that note, I'm going to go move, reflect, and probably just sleep.
See you at the grave, Sarah.
Marcus, that is dark.
But true, and truth is the ultimate system. Good night, Sarah.
Good night, Marcus.
Thank you for listening to this discussion on the System Read podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit the like button and subscribe to ensure you don't miss our upcoming deep dives.